Hello and welcome back to All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host and my guest is John L. Burris. Burris is a local attorney here, but has national acclaim because of the work that he does in civil rights and other areas. John, let's talk for a moment about your commitment to the Bar Association. I know that you were former president of the Charles Houston Bar Association, a founder, one of the founders of the California Association of Black Lawyers, and been actively involved in the National Bar Association. I believe you're in the Hall of Fame of the National Bar Association, and served as the third president of the California Association of Black Lawyers, which was founded, some 46 years ago. And you were the third president of the association. Now, that dates you.
I will tell people, every now and then, my lawyers in my office, nobody's over 45, and they would make reference to me as that. And I said, look, I'm not apologetic. I have lived a long life. I've been very fortunate to have the kind of practice I want. You have to make your life like mine.
Absolutely.
So that's on you.
And what drove your passion for your involvement in the Bar Association, and how important is it for other lawyers to get involved?
The Bar Association is extraordinarily important for lawyers because there's a kinship, there's a collegiality, and someone can have your back. It's very, very important to know that there are other lawyers who are involved in activities somewhat like you, but things happen to lawyers from along the way. And so I found it very useful that there were a Bar Association that was present, that you could rely upon, you could talk to, and you have a real sense of others have gone that way before. Now, I've done a lot of seminars for black lawyers, or any lawyers, particularly African-American lawyers, on all kinds of subject matters for many, many years. And part of that is my sense that we want to educate lawyers, because many lawyers don't know everything, particularly new lawyers. They don't know anything. They think they do. But you want to educate them along the way to make sure they don't commit mistakes that they don't have to make. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but if you can help them get through these early stages of their career. So I've done many seminars for the Bar Association. I certainly was president of both bars many, many years ago, but my real interest in the Bar Association is kind of now is to promote its existence. My home at Bar Association is Charles Houston Bar Association. Okay? Right. That's my home. Right. And so I may participate in other bar associations, but Charles Houston is the home for us here in the Bay Area, and we've had a tremendous impact on bar associations around the country. And so you obviously been the national president, but certainly for me, is being able to assist lawyers within the organization.
Yeah, but I would not have been the president of the National Bar Association, but for Charles Houston Bar Association. Yeah, and of course the legendary B.T. Travis. Ben Travis.
I remember it well. We were in Houston. And I was living in Chicago at the time.
Indeed.
And we came down, and there was this groundswell that was taking place that was quite remarkable.
It's incredible. I was, some 3 or 4 years out of law school, and we had never had a lawyer from California to even be elected to anything in the National Bar Association.
In those days, Detroit, Chicago, and New York controlled.
And I ran against Stu Dunnins, who was running for third vice president of the National Bar, and I ran against him and beat him. Not because of anything I had done, but because of the commitment of the California black lawyers, and especially Ben Travis, you, and others.
Those were very exciting times.
Absolutely.
It was so exciting to us, this upstart group. I can remember we had our first meeting. We were in law school where some people from the NBA came, and we met down at the dock of the bay one Saturday.
Indeed.
And that was like sort of the beginning of the idea. BT was heading it up. The idea that we out here in California could participate.
That's right.
And so I can remember classically the division of the house that took place between law students from black schools and law students from white schools. Turns out my wife was a law professor from one of the black schools, and so I developed a very close relationship with North Carolina Central. In fact, I got a scholarship, and our names there that we give out. So it was different times, but I felt very strong, and so even now I give out scholarships annually to black students. Charles Houston, the annual event, and certainly with the North Carolina Central. I also have a scholarship in my name that I give
At
out to
UC
students
Berkeley.
at UC Berkeley for trying to promote students, they're not necessarily black students, to do civil rights work, because that's a non-color situation. That's just people who want to do the work.
Right. And John, in the final segment, and we're going to go to break in a minute, but when we come back from this final segment, I want to talk briefly about what you do personally at your own home with a group of young black boys who would never be exposed to this kind of mentoring. So don't touch that remote. We will be right back with All About Community. Again, my name is Robert L. Harris. I am your host, and my guest is John L. Burris, noted civil rights attorney right here in the Bay Area and is known nationally and internationally. We will be right back with All About Community.